Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to answer critical thinking interview questions. Now, critical thinking interview questions are coming up more often during all types of job interviews because the hiring manager wants to assess your ability to make the right decisions in difficult situations. So, if you have an interview coming up soon for any role or company, I strongly recommend you watch this tutorial from start to finish because it will make a massive difference to your performance on the day. So to help you pass your interview at the first attempt, I will cover the following things during this tutorial. Number one, I will give you a list of 7 critical thinking interview questions you must prepare for. These 7 questions are the most common critical thinking ones asked during all job interviews. Number 2, I will then give you 2 important tips for answering each of those interview questions to get the highest scores possible. Number 3, I am then going to give you a brilliant example answer to each critical thinking interview question to help you pass at the first attempt. And then finally, number 4, I will tell you where you can instantly download a copy of these slides with the answers, plus my full set of 100 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. And just very quickly, if you are new to this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Literally thousands of you are passing your job interviews. I can only help you if you are subscribed, and please give the video a like. It's a small ask, but by liking the video it tells me you find these tutorials useful and also you benefit from the sample answers. Thank you very much indeed. So the first critical thinking interview question I want you to prepare for is, how would you complete a task without clear information? Here's 2 tips, and I will then give you a top scoring response. Tip number 1. So this is one of the more common critical thinking interview questions. And in your response, show your ability to seek ways to still complete your tasks without having all the information needed. Tip number 2, in your answer, talk about breaking down the task into small, manageable steps, researching to find more information, and then having a can-do positive attitude to complete the task. So here's my top scoring response to help you pass your interview. How would you complete a task without clear information? Here we go. I start by determining the end goal of the task. This will usually be dictated by the company's objectives. I then break down the task into small steps, decide which task comes first, and then research information to find out how to complete it. I will search online or ask colleagues for guidance before setting to work. At all times, I will be safe, follow company rules, check my progress against the end goal, and maintain a positive, can-do attitude until the task is complete. That's a brilliant example answer to that tough critical thinking interview question. Now, you can either pause the video if you want to and write down the questions and answers as we work through them together, or if you wait, I will soon tell you where you can download these slides plus my full set of 100 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. Here's question number 2. What is the most difficult work-related decision you've had to make? Wow, this is a really tough one to answer. Tip number 1. Now, being able to make difficult decisions is a skill that's sought after by the majority of hiring managers. If you can demonstrate the right critical thinking capabilities in your interview, you will get hired. Tip number 2, in your answer, give a specific situation where you put the needs of your employer first to achieve a successful outcome. So here's my top scoring response to help you pass your interview. What is the most difficult work-related decision you've had to make? Here we go. In my previous job, my supervisor was on annual leave. A supplier kept letting us down, which resulted in customer complaints. I had to decide what to do about the situation in the absence of my supervisor. I weighed up the pros and cons of keeping the current supplier and decided to seek a new one because I felt it was in the best interests of the company. Now, before informing the supplier we no longer needed them, I sought an alternative. I researched online, found several potential suppliers, checked their reviews and company history, and discussed terms with them. Now, once I had found a new supplier, I let the old one go. Customer service standards then quickly improved, and my supervisor thanked me for making the right decision when she returned from her holiday. That's a brilliant answer. It shows that you take ownership of a difficult work-related situation, use critical thinking skills, and then make the right decision that is in the best interests of the company. Now, don't go anywhere because I've still got many more critical thinking interview questions and answers to give you. But when you're ready, you can click that link that has appeared in the top right-hand corner of the video. You can head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and download a copy of these slides, plus my full set of 100 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. Here's the next critical thinking interview question I want to help you answer. This one is really common. Question number 3, how do you adapt to change? Here's 2 tips. Tip number 1. So this critical thinking interview question is being asked more often during job interviews because change is a crucial part of organizational progression. Tip number 2, in your answer, talk about how you view change as an essential part of work and that you embrace it with a positive attitude. Now, some people are reluctant to change, but if you want to get hired, you have to view change as a positive thing. Here's my top scoring response to assist you. How do you adapt to change? Here we go. I view change as an essential part of progression, both in my work and personal life. If your employer isn't changing, they could fall behind and fail to meet the needs of their customers. This wouldn't be a good thing because I might lose my job. Therefore, I am positive about change. I will listen to the changes requested, assess what I can do to support them, and I will encourage my co-workers to do the same. That's a great answer, a brilliant response to that common critical thinking interview question. How do you adapt to change? Here's the next one. How do you respond to opposing viewpoints? Here's 2 tips. Tip number 1. So opposing viewpoints are healthy for progression. However, some people don't like it when others disagree with them. So be careful how you answer this difficult interview question. Tip number 2, in your answer, talk about how you understand the importance of opposing views, welcome them, and then decide on a way forward that benefits your employer. Here's a great answer. How do you respond to opposing viewpoints? Opposing viewpoints are healthy because they encourage debate, creativity, and they usually result in better decisions and choices being made for the company. I will listen to opposing views, weigh up their benefit, and suggest a course of action that helps my employer achieve their commercial and strategic goals. If I don't agree with the opposing view, I will explain why and then continue with the debate. That's a great answer. You can see how all of these responses are going to put you across as a professional and forward-thinking candidate. They're brilliant. Here's the next one. How quickly do you make decisions? Here's 2 tips before I give you a great answer. Tip number 1. So this next common critical thinking interview question is assessing whether you think before you act. Tip number 2, while there will be times when you must make immediate decisions, where possible, it is important to think before you decide, weigh up your options, and then choose one that helps your employer progress. So here's my perfect top scoring answer to help you. How quickly do you make decisions? The speed in which I make decisions is dictated by the needs of my employer. For example, if something is urgent and we don't have time to collectively discuss the problem, I will quickly assess the situation and make a decision that I believe is correct for the company. If I have more time to make a decision, especially if the decision is a complex one, I will assess my options, discuss them with my team, and determine which one helps us achieve our goals faster. So that's another really good response. Here's the next question. How would you deal with friction between you and a co-worker? Tip number 1. So this next critical thinking interview question assesses what you think about friction and conflict and what your priorities are when dealing with them. And tip number 2, in your answer, demonstrate you put the needs of your team first and consider what you can do to resolve the friction quickly. Here's a great top scoring response. How would you deal with friction between you and a co-worker? It would be my goal to resolve any friction quickly. Negativity and friction can harm team relations, stall progress, and create a bad working environment. Therefore, I would sit down with my co-worker, get to the root of the problem quickly, and discuss an amicable way forward we were both comfortable with and that was in the best interests of our team. That's a cracking answer. Now this one is really difficult. Question number 7. Tell me about a time when you anticipated a problem before it arose. How did you deal with the situation? Wow, this is tough. Here's 2 tips. Tip number 1. So this is one of the hardest critical thinking interview questions to answer correctly. It is assessing your ability to foresee problems and then act on them to achieve a positive outcome. Tip number 2. Give an answer that demonstrates your ability to think ahead and determine what problems or obstacles could hinder your team's ability to achieve its goals. Here's a brilliant response to help you. Tell me about a time when you anticipated a problem before it arose. How did you deal with the situation? Here we go. In my previous role, we were working towards a Black Friday sale event. The team I was a part of had been preparing hard for the sale. We planned several promotions, contacted all previous customers to give them discount codes to use on the day of the sale, and employed an online marketing agency to run adverts across social media. In the build-up to the sale, I had concerns that the website server would not be able to handle the surge in traffic. If the website crashed during the sale, all our hard work and effort would go to waste and the company would lose money. We didn't have a dedicated IT company, so I carried out some research online and soon realised the server we had would not be sufficient for the sale. I informed my manager and he thanked me for my proactive thinking before commissioning an external company to upgrade our server. That's a brilliant response that shows you put the needs of your employer first to solve a difficult problem. It's a great response. Now, the next thing to do, if you want to accelerate your learning even further and make sure you are the standout candidate at your interview, is click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download a copy of these slides with all the answers, plus an additional 100 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. It's a fantastic resource. It comes as an immediate PDF downloadable guide, so you can have it in your inbox within 2 minutes from now, and it's going to put you ahead of the competition at your forthcoming interview. Make sure you check that out. Also, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am here to help you not just pass every job interview you ever attend, but I can also help you negotiate a salary and progress throughout your career. I can only do that if you are subscribed. Please give the video a like. That really does motivate me to create more content for you. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I have put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It is always a pleasure to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Have a brilliant day.